What's up, everyone? I'm the devastating Just Cause, and this is DJC Game Studios. This is come on, but I gotta stop that stuff. Welcome! Yes, that's right. This is gonna be a ridiculous show because it's gonna be a ridiculous what? List of a Top 5! That's right, top 5 ridiculous ideas I came up for games that should be on the Amico that I really think would be really good games to put on the Amico. Legitimately. Let's go through my insane list. Alright, coming in as number 5, Heman and the Masters of the Universe. Now, this might not be my craziest idea because it's something they actually are already messing around with. They got the in on at Mattel. They're doing a Hot Wheels game, right, as far as we know. The Crisscross Crash or the Sideswipers, was it? Anyways, I'm out of breath. Whew! I think that the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe would be an awesome thing, especially with that new series that just came out. I think having a brand new He-Man and obviously pay tribute to the original Intellivision that had a He-Man game, you know, with them in the Wind Raider, dropping the bombs to get Skeletor, and then running around, and then the little battle between him and Skeletor, and I mean, you got Castle Grayskull. Imagine the stuff you could do on the Amico with graphic-wise and make it so cool. You could redo the Wind Waiter scene, and Elma Fudd come along. The Wind Raider scenes, and then you could do the classic Skeletor and He-Man battles. And now you got Teela. You can get Teela in there. Evelyn, Trapjaw, Merman, Ram Man. Oh, man, all those characters would be such a cool game. So, there's my number 5. I still stand with that. It's one of my... It's funny, I'm doing a top 5 list. I'm doing a top 5 program about... My other program, Is It Worthy for the Intellivision Amico. If you haven't seen those, there's about 20 episodes. Some of them are ridiculous. Some of them are... They're all pretty ridiculous. But I'm serious. Like, I would love to see these games come to this console. And I think they're good, pick-up, family-friendly, or just straight-up fun or classic arcade games that would look great on a console like this. So, going over this top 5 list might be weird, but yes, I still think that... He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, wow. That, the Skeletor costume. Wow, just look how big. Whew. Anyways, let's get into the next one, which is... I startled myself there. Let's get into number 4, and that is Greatest American Hero. People, yeah. Greatest American Hero. Yeah, when I came up with this idea, I was serious. As ridiculous as my getup is, the Greatest American Hero was a 1980s TV superhero, which he acquired a power suit, like a super suit, from a race of aliens that wanted him to make the Earth a better place. And paired him up with an FBI agent, Bill Maxwell, and they would go around and basically defend the Earth from evil. And I thought it was really cool, real cool concept. Something would be, and once again, I'm no expert on game licenses, but I figured it'd be something easy to get. I know William Catt, that played the Greatest American Hero, he did a lot of comics for this, as well as him and the TV, the guy that made it, he's passed away. Cannell, was it Jay Cannell or Cannell? I need to do my research again. But I'm sure that they would love to see this reimagined someplace. So I think that'd be a possibility. I mean, it'd be easier to get that than a Marvel or a DC thing. And I think the Greatest American Hero would fit the Amico because it'd be so silly and fun. You know, because the whole thing was he didn't know how to land, so when he'd fly, he'd crash into stuff. So it'd be kind of cool to have this little flying level, and just an awesome, cool thing to have a superhero game. And I think that would be hilarious. So that's my number 4. This is 4, right? And then we go to number 3, and that is going to be Bonk versus Zonk. Bonk's Adventure was one of the silliest and coolest games. It was a caveman that Bonk stuffed with his head, the TurboGrafx mascot. And then later on, when the TurboGrafx was trying to redo their image, they used Bonk's cyborg futuristic cousin, Zonk, in a shooter called Air Zonk. And it was one of my favorites. And I was like, what if we did a rift in these two universes where it was Bonk going into the modern, Zonk's world, and Zonk going back into the caveman days to go through Bonk's world, and at the end they meet, and it's Air Zonk versus Bonk. Obviously a TurboGrafx or / Konami or Hudson Soft franchise. Would that be something to get? Amico would just, it would explode on that console. I really do think that. I think that would be a perfect, fun game that families, kids, multiplayer. I mean, have you seen the characters in Zonk and Bonk? Like the crazy amount of characters, like Moo Moo the cow, the bulldozer, the baseball, the dog, and they all transform into morphed versions of each other, and it's hilarious. The guy that's a gumball machine that shoots the gumballs. You think that's ridiculous? Wait till we get to my number 2, and that is the one I recently did that people thought I was out of my mind for saying this, but I thought of stuff like Gunsmoke, and obviously you can't have guns or gun battles at the OK Corral on the Amico because it's family friend. It's a family friend. It may as well be, but it's a family-friendly console. So what would be better than E for Everyone than a cowboy that slings ice cream and Ice Cream Cowboy. That's right, this was my ridiculous idea, which I actually thought was really good and could be a potential game idea. Imagine stuff, and it's just fun to do this, and that's all this is. This stuff ain't coming out. Maybe it get an idea. Maybe it would get an idea. What am I stuttering now? Maybe it would get an idea, or someone would get an idea from something like this. But like we were all joking about, you couldn't have a game like Splatterhouse. Like what happens? Is he throwing glitter at him? Is he running up and tickling the monsters? Because obviously you can't like chop things up and, but I was thinking of something like that. What would you do, like if you did kind of the basis of a Gunsmoke game where you're just walking down the Old West and, and people would be, usually firing at you out of windows from rooftops and you'd have to go, but if you had two frozen steel tubs of like refrigerated ice cream and these different things, and they're slinging milkshakes, you're flinging things back. And what about the sequel? Obviously it would be Milkshake Maiden, and she has to rescue the Ice Cream Cowboy, and when they meet, they have the ultimate third game in the series. It'll be a trilogy. I just thought Ice Cream Cowboy, if you haven't seen any of these videos I'm talking about, please check them out. They're under the playlist, Is It Worthy for the Intellivision Amico, and it's just some insane ideas I came up with. But it's also franchises that were games at one point, too. Not all of them, not like Ice Cream Cowboy. That's all from here. Anyways, this brings it to... What was that? My second? That brings us to my number 1, which is an existing franchise. It is more of, I guess, would go into more of the sports and recreation. And that is Gala Kites. This was one of the very first few I did. I think this was my second or third episode of Is It Worthy for Intellivision Amico. On the playlist. Check it out on the channel. Gala Kites was just a huge thing growing up. You had the Sky Spy, you had the bat kites, the baby bat, the fox bat, the prowler, which was the big owl. They had stunt kites. The kites were just huge, and they still are to this day, and they're still a big company in kite manufacturing. I thought a Gala Kite license would be sweet, because the game would be using that haptic or force feedback, I should say, So you got the kite up in the air. You have the different wind conditions. You could use the dial to, or the pressure sensitive disc, I should say, to actually. And I got one right here to actually like tighten up your string to wind it in. You'd have to press down and really wind in, and then the more you press, the harder you press, the more it grips. The more you release, it lets go. You let your string out, then you have to wind it back in. I just thought that would be a cool thing. You'd have your kite, if it's way up in the sky, you can zoom in on your touch screen. I just think the possibility is endless, and I think that would be a good recreation title to have, flying a kite in different conditions, different areas, different parts of the world, parks, forest, mountaintops. I just think that would be cool to design your own kite, design the tail lengths. I just thought it would be cool. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but I really think it is. Like, I used to love kite flying. It'd just be as cool as something, any type of recreational thing, as cool as billiards, darts, cornhole. It's just a good, cool outdoor activity, And I thought kite flying. I don't think there's any video games on kite flying. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't do research. You know me. But I thought that would really utilize the controller, and it'd be a fun, cool nostalgia and a cool thing. And then get this, multiplayer kite flying. Don't cross into and get it all tangled up, because then they go down and you lose a kite. I guess is how it would go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Wow, said that loud. Hope you enjoyed my top 5 list of my ridiculous list on is it worthy for the Intellivision Amico. It's fun to think of stuff like this while we wait for this great console that I'm really looking forward to. And that's really all I have to say on that. Stay tuned, because there'll be a lot more ideas coming up. Oh, by the way, please like. Oh, and subscribe. Yeah, do that. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Milkshake Maiden. The heroine that walks through the western streets, slinging milkshakes and whipped cream. All right, Mr. Disc, we're going to put you back right here, right in front of Chip Shot Super Pro Golf. That should be coming on the new Evercade collection, hopefully. I was just coming over here to stop putting tab in the Amico controller holder. That's for Amico controllers only. Tab goes right here on my switch shelf that doesn't have enough content, so I had to put an empty switch box and a tab. Yeah, whatever. Why am I surprised again?